Shabbat shalom, everyone. By a show of hands, who is physically, emotionally, and spiritually ready for the high holidays? Guys, I've been giving this sermon for 9 years. You know the answer is none of you. None of us are ready for the high holidays this year. Maybe Ann Baruch. She might be the exception. She can leave her hand up. None of us are ready for the high holidays. We are completely unprepared for what is about to happen. And if you've heard me for the last 9 years saying this over and over and over again, the message, the takeaway, the nafka mina from that is, that's okay. That's how this goes. For the last few weeks, we have been talking about all the different ways that we can be actively prepared to take on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot and Shmini Atzeret and Simchat Torah, these days of awe. We've talked about the importance of limud, the importance of learning Torah, about upping our Torah intake so that we're studying together, that we're getting our mind prepared for the high holidays. We've talked about the acts of tshuva, of going and doing the hard work, of confronting the things that we have done wrong in this past year, to talk to people that we have wronged, and to do the very vulnerable and courageous thing of standing in front of them and saying, I messed up, and I'm sorry. And we've talked about the importance of what does it mean to sit in tefillah, of sitting in prayer and talking to God, and also saying that same thing, and to say, God, I've messed up, and I'm sorry. All of those are the things that are the active elements of getting us prepared for the high holidays. But these days are not just called the high holidays. They are called the days of awe. And the reason they are called the days of awe is because they are so much mightier, they are so much bigger, they are so filled with profundity, with magic, with something so special and grandiose that we can't fathom how big they are. And when something is that big, that special, we can never fully be prepared for it. And right now, the hardest thing that we can do, all of those things that are active ways of getting prepared for the high holidays, the limud, the tshuva, the tefillah, the tzedakah, all of those things are hard. They're hard, and they're meant to be hard. Those are difficult things that we are supposed to do to ready ourselves for the high holidays, but the hardest thing of all is what we're going to talk about this morning, which is to recognize when everything else is beyond our control. We are Jews who live in America in 2024. We think everything is in our control. We try to do everything and make everything happen for us. You know how often we sit in silence, doing nothing? Very, very rarely. We have apps on our phone that tell us how much screen time we've had and pop up and say, walk outside, put your phone down. The hardest part of the high holidays, the hardest part of the magic of these days, of the grandiosity and the profundity of these days, is learning when it's time to let go of the things that we can't control. That is incredibly difficult. And as ironic as it is, I think the most profound prayer that we can channel going into the high holidays is a prayer written by Reinhold Niebuhr, who is not Jewish. But as a son of an addict, I heard this prayer all the time growing up. You know it as the Serenity Prayer, which is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the most important part is the ending, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is the time when we need the wisdom to know the difference. Our tradition has taught us a lot of different ways of getting to that point of understanding what's beyond our control. And one of the most important things that they have taught us is that music and repetition is one of the best ways of being able to let go and to let the profundity and let all that magic, let everything wash over us and remind us of where we are. So we are going to sing a nigun together. And this is going to be the hardest thing that I ever ask you to do. I don't want you to think about anything else. We're Jews. We think a lot about a lot of things all the time. That is where our anxiety comes from. I get it. But we're going to try to turn that off. So before we go into this, I just want you to close your eyes for 1 second. No sleeping, Steve. Close your eyes for 1 second. And for anyone who needs to hear this morning, I want you to hear these words because they're important. Whatever you need to let go of, let go of. There are a lot of things in your life right now that are not your fault. Hear that and feel that. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And we're going to sing a nigun together. It is quite poignantly called the Elul Nigun. We are in the month of Elul. We are working our way to the high holidays. So here's that challenge to you. Let go of everything else. Don't think about anything that is beyond your control. We're going to sit and we're going to sing together. Try that with me. Here's the second part. We're going to put that all together. One last time. Shabbat shalom, everyone.